Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. It is June 16th, 2022, and we are here for the T3G webinar. And this month, we get to have the ArcGIS online competition for US high school and middle school students, the results from this year. This is a very exciting event. This is really one of my fave in the whole year. But the whole year we have these webinars, and this is, if you're new to this event, this is T3G, which stands for Teachers Teaching Teachers GIS. GIS is one of these technologies that helps people make good decisions. People use it in all kinds of industries to understand complex issues of all kinds, all over the world, covering large areas, the whole globe, down to things in their backyard. GIS just helps people understand, with layers of information, all kinds of things that they can be thinking about, working on, working toward. In T3G, we like to think about this as an opportunity to help more educators use GIS. That will allow us to change education and hopefully thereby change the world. That's our mission, is to make the world a better place. And if you are involved in education and want to join us in part of that mission, you can go to esriurl.com/T3G, find out more about this experience, and even sign up. The program is being recorded. We will have a presentation and discussion. There will be a Q&A time later on, and then we'll finish up with some announcements. And afterwards, we have a social time that people are welcome to join, but we don't record it so that everybody can socialize more freely. So those of you who are watching the video, you won't see the social time. You got to join us live to do that. Let's get busy. We've got a long way to go. Got a lot of things to do here. We've got 4 special guests with us tonight. And these are in relation to the competition that just ended back in May, and the decisions were announced at the very end of the month. We have our high school winner, Hannah Osborne, who is a homeschool student finishing up 11th grade in Tennessee. Maya Trutschl, who is an 8th grade student at Caddo Middle Magnet in Shreveport, Louisiana. We've got the state leaders from those 2 states, Fran Harvey, who is in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and works for Global Geospatial Institute, and is the director there, is the executive director there, is the chief there. And Michael Campanovo, who is the GIS coordinator or the GIS evangelist, I guess, in the geography department at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. And so these 4, we're going to be exploring the competition, and then we'll do some discussion, some announcements, etc. But first, let's take a look and see the ArcGIS online competition. The results came out on May 31, right after Memorial Day, and you could find out about the results in 2 different places. And these are the 2 addresses really that you might want to take note of. The left side is the ArcGIS online competition in its totality, and esriurl.com/AGO school comp. That will take you there through the whole thing. You can see at the very top of that page, you get to see past results and the rules and the resources. And down the page, you'll see a bunch of, you'll see about the competition, and you'll get into the results. Over on the right-hand side is a blog that came out that same day with the results that walks you through what you get to see there. But rather than show you this way, I think it will be better if we can show you live on the fly. So here we are at the competition page. And the competition is pretty simple to understand. The basics of it are students in teams of 2 or solo get to do a project. They submit it to, it has to be a project about something in their state. They submit their project in an ArcGIS story map to their teachers. Teachers pick the 5 best, send them to the state. State picks their 5 best high school and 5 best middle school and gives everybody $100 and then sends the results of everything from their state to ESRI, identifying 1 high school and 1 middle school for a final level of competition. And ESRI picks 1 high school winner and 1 middle school winner from across the nation. And we get to have a special webinar with them. And that's what you're a part of right here. So let's go down a little bit further. And here you get to see some of the participation. We had 43 states say they wanted to participate, and some states it was such a challenging year for everybody. Some states just had no participation, but we ended up with 545 entries from 35 states, 86 different schools that entered. Some schools are K-12 and we're able to have people in both competitions. But you can explore those results. Really what's exciting is to go in and explore these videos, these presentations. And what's really cool about this is a live interactive dashboard that you're seeing here. And so I've got all of the individual presentations. These are the awardees. These are the people who won the $100 from every state. And you can see them here on the map. You've got a legend that will give you the translation of their symbols and what the states are. And you can click on the states and you can click up here and say, I don't want to see everybody. I just want to see all the first place high schools. And there they are on the map and over here in the table. Or I want to see all of the first place in the state middle schools. And there they are on the table, and there they are on the map. And you can click on one of these. Let's see. If I said, I want to see Louisiana, yep, sure it is. There, you can click on it. It goes to that spot on the map and gives you a link to it. Or if you said, hey, take me back to the high school, I want to undo, show me everything. Come on. I think I got one clicked. I'm going to click one and unclick it. And then when you unclick it, it goes back to full size. All right. So let's go into the high school. That takes us down. If we go into Tennessee, standing alone. Well, what the heck? We've got Hannah right here, but we also have Hannah in a movie. This year, for the first time, we had people contributing movies. So let me introduce Hannah Osborne.
Hello, I'm Hannah Osborne, and I'm the creator of the story map, Standing Alone, which follows the story of 3 Tennesseans who have each been differently affected by the disparity in healthcare in rural Tennessee. Through their stories, I hope to peel back the layers of the Tennessee healthcare crisis through geospatial analysis, highlighting underserved communities while advocating for reform. The first section of my map introduces the rural healthcare topic. This section outlines rural areas in Tennessee and provides general metrics about rural health in Tennessee, including the connection between life expectancy and poverty. The next section addresses the struggle rural Tennesseans often face when trying to find primary medical treatment. I introduce the story of Dr. Jesse Copeland, a primary care doctor in rural Clay County, Tennessee, and highlight the medically underserved populations living in rural Tennessee. Next, I cover the disparities in rural Tennessee emergency care. Giving the example of Miss Lottie Crouch, I discussed the lower number of ambulance units, the high closure of rural hospitals, and longer drive times to trauma hospitals rural areas must face. In my fourth section, I describe how COVID-19 has worsened the healthcare crisis in rural Tennessee. I tell the story of Miss Betsy Phillips before analyzing the disproportionate effects of COVID-19 on rural Tennessee, on first the state level and later the county level. As my previous sections have shown, healthcare is an important issue for rural counties that needs to be addressed. In this section, I describe current initiatives in Tennessee to help with the healthcare crisis, ending with the call for healthcare reform. Creating my story map was a multi-step process. First, I started with the fun part, building maps. When finding data for my maps, I either edited pre-existing layers from the ArcGIS online atlas, or I uploaded my own custom CSV file as a layer. To finish creating my maps, many of my layers required me to perform analysis using the analysis tools through ArcGIS Online. This included the Derive New Locations Analysis tool, the Join Features Analysis tool, and the Create Drive Time Areas Analysis tool. Finally, I configured customized pop-ups for all my maps. When my story map was complete, I began working on my items detail page, which included a summary of my story map and specific details about how I created each of my maps. I hope you've enjoyed this summary video about my story map standing alone. If you'd like to further explore my map or learn more about my process, please see the following links.
Well, Maya, that was outstanding. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing for a second. Can you tell us a little bit? That was such an amazing presentation and great video. Can you tell us a little bit more about your process?
Sure. So I started working on my story map about 12 weeks before it was due to this date. The first few weeks, I spent about 30 minutes to an hour a day, each day during the school week. However, towards the end of my project, I ended up spending several hours a day because the story map was taking a little bit longer than I expected. At the beginning, I created deadlines for important milestones. I spent 2 to 3 weeks researching my topic, trying to find the exact topic I wanted to highlight and researching in depth for my data and my stories that I wanted to use. I then created an outline for my entire story map, similar to what I would do for an English paper, dividing it into 5 main sections. Once I was done with my outline, I started focusing on each specific section. I built my maps first, and then I created my graphics and text to finish my story map. Lastly, I started working on my items detail page. My state competition leaders had created webinars that emphasized the importance of the items detail page. So I tried to create an items detail page that was both complete and thorough about my story map.
That was really cool, and a good thing that he did that, because that was one of the pieces that we really were impressed by. So, and I think I even said Maya when I switched, because I was just so blown away. This is Hannah, of course, and some of us have trouble speaking. All right, let's move on. All right, thank you very much, Hannah. All right, I want to shift over to Maya now. Let me see if I can share my screen again, and we can jump over to Maya's project. Maya, here we go.
Hello, my name is Maya Trutschl, and my map project is the Unexpected Modernism of the South. I found out about the ArcGIS online competition at the Institute for Competition Sciences website, and this was the first map I have ever created. I have had a keen interest in maps for a few years, which was enhanced by the History of Maps article published in Popular Mechanics in 2020, which discussed maps as humankind's greatest tool. I find maps fascinating as they have no single known inventor or origin, but they help us illuminate milestones of discovery and define how we view the world today. I live in Shreveport, a city in northwest Louisiana, and it is not nearly as famous as New Orleans or our state capital, Baton Rouge. Shreveport grew throughout the 20th century, and after the discovery of oil in Louisiana, became a national center for the oil industry in the 1930s. Exploring the city led me to discover that we have many true gems that deserve to be recognized, and the architecture of our city is one of them. Louisiana State is home to only 50 or so noteworthy modernistic buildings, and some of the best landmarks of the style are located in Shreveport, designed by William B. Weiner and his older half-brother Samuel G. Weiner. I wanted to create a map to show that Shreveport, Louisiana should be recognized as the design capital of the Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas region, with its complex mid-20th century American architecture that all of us living here just take for granted. This story exposes the Wiener buildings we can still admire today, including 7 schools, 7 institutional and religious buildings, 7 commercial buildings, and 11 exceptional homes. I performed research to locate the buildings the Wiener brothers designed here in Shreveport. Their designs, through a couple of years, brought about a quiet revolution in modern architecture in the United States in the 1930s. I first present their earlier works of contemporary design, such as the Municipal Memorial Auditorium and Andrus building with their original and today's renovated facade. Followed by the buildings designed in the Bauhaus or modern style. Sam and William designed family homes, a subdivision, commercial, institutional, and religious buildings, and revolutionized the way that the South sees architecture. Their designs enhanced all kinds of neighborhoods, from the most affluent to impoverished, deemed hazardous to be invested in, according to the 1930s Home Owners Loan Corporation. And with 33 buildings still standing today, this story map of the Wiener Brothers buildings is a testament to the exceptional transformation of our town of Shreveport that needs to be celebrated and recognized, and I invite you all to visit to see their beauty in person. This website shows the steps I took to create my project, the maps I created, and the sources I used. Thank you.
Wow. So that was amazing. So Maya, can you give us a little bit of the behind the scenes view?
Yeah, so I jumped into the competition pretty late, about only 2 weeks before it was all due. So I was rushing to get everything done, but I definitely had fun taking pictures of all of the buildings because I have access to them since I live in the city. And so I think it's really cool that they're all still standing and that I was able to take pictures of them. So, yeah.
So 2 weeks to work on this project. That's you must have worked on it night and day.
Yes, sir.
So when did you get started making maps?
Just right then, Miss Fran, she helped me set up a few Zoom meetings with them, and I learned how to use the ArcGIS software.
Okay. Well, let's see if we can bring Hannah as well back in and have a little discussion with both of you two. I'm intrigued. Hannah, we've got Maya doing this in a couple of weeks and years. How long was your block of time?
12 weeks.
12 weeks. Wow. So it's doable in a short span, but wow, that's impressive. So tell us a little bit more about how did you both settle on your topic? Hannah, can you try that one first? How did you pick that particular topic?
Sure. When I was looking for my topic, I was looking for 3 things. I wanted a compelling story people could relate to. I wanted a personal connection that I had to the topic, and specific data that I could build my maps with. I knew several months in advance that I wanted to participate in this competition, so I tried to keep a lookout in my local news for possible story map ideas. I'd seen articles about rural healthcare, and I thought it was a good topic, especially since it was relevant to me since I live in a rural area.
Cool. And Maya, how did you come about this one?
Well, I definitely drove past some of these more modern looking houses, and I was wondering what kind of time period they were built in. So, yeah, I looked it up online, and I found it interesting that like these 2 brothers brought such a great big change in architecture to the South and to all of America. And yeah, I think that's what I wanted to base my project on. So, and it was in my home city. So, yeah.
Convenient. So what did you guys like most about this whole process?
I think my favorite part about this process was the planning. You know, when you begin your research, you end up with this random collection of stories and data. And it's really like a puzzle trying to figure out how each element can fit together into your story map. It's a lot of work, but it's also very rewarding to see your final project come together in a cohesive body of work.
Maya?
Yeah, I had a very fun time finding out about all these buildings, both the older and the more modernistic buildings. And I thought the software was interesting as well. It was fun to play around in.
Well, that's great. So you guys did such a great job. Did you have any challenges with any part of the project? Hannah, you want to start on that one?
Yeah, so a lot of what I know about ArcGIS online is self-taught. So for each map that I made, there was always some trial and error. I think the most difficulty that I had was with my items detail page. I wrote out my entire items detail page, but when I uploaded a change to my story map and published it, it actually erased my items detail page. So I had to completely rewrite it from scratch. So that was definitely a little bit challenging, but worth it in the end.
Ouch. How about you, Maya?
Yeah, when I tried to submit it, it deleted my items detail page as well. So that took a long time to rewrite. Yeah. And also, however, I had a little bit of trouble trying to put in all the addresses of all the houses I had. So Miss Fran was really helpful with that as well.
Okay, that's I'm hearing something that we need to check with some tech team about and see if that is something that we can troubleshoot. Were there any parts that you said, I really don't know how to organize this part, and talked with other people to help you figure out the organization? Hannah, you want to give that a shot?
Yeah, I know specifically with my medically underserved populations map and my story map, I know I was having trouble trying to figure out how to visualize that in my map. And so I met with a geo mentor from one of our local universities here in Tennessee, and she was able to help me kind of come up with a way to visualize that where it would be the most impactful story.
Having a mentor around is great. Maya?
Yeah, I met a few times because the software was really new to me. I met a few times with the ArcGIS team down in Baton Rouge. Yeah, and they were really helpful.
Yep. So all of the state leaders out there, you can be thinking about getting those mentors lined up. Speaking of state leaders, let's see if we can bring our state leaders from Tennessee and Louisiana in here to add some commentary about these. First of all, Michael, do you want to start with, have you got any comments about the entries?
Well, as someone who used to have to write metadata for a living, the fact that two young people said such good things about it, that just warms my little like FGDC heart over here, you know? And I thought I was going to terrify Andrew Joyner, who recorded the video for me on the metadata best practices, because it's like, can you talk about metadata but make it fun? And boy, he just went white. But no, I am just so happy with everything I'm seeing here. You know, my favorite anecdote about Hannah and her process and the work that she's done is she's been part of the Tennessee competition for several years now. And I got an email after the winners were announced. And this one teacher from a different school emailed me and says, when is she going to graduate? She's gotten first place the last couple of years. But just a couple other things that really come to my mind in terms of thinking about Hannah and the map that she put together. One is just how professional it looks. I mean, it really looks like Hannah is a graphic designer and put this thing together. So from just like the color she picked, the consistency in all of her icons and her style, we're just really, really impressed with that part of it. But the part really that I think is the best part about this is if we think about from a GIS standpoint, a data standpoint, there are great resources out there all about healthcare disparity. And there's all this data out there about it. But we get so involved with data. Sometimes it's just data, right? And it's just numbers. it's just a map. But the way Hannah was able to tell stories about people who these real issues were impacting, to me, that brought this to life for me and real. And it made me care about the issue more than just, seeing a spreadsheet about it or reading a news article just about this healthcare disparity. So I was just really impressed with the way Hannah was able to do that.
Yeah, very good. How about you, Fran?
Okay, thanks, Charlie. Yeah, Maya surprised us all, jumping in at the last minute. But we had been working on the competition for a couple of months, so we were geared up for it. And she just wanted every available hour we had to, she would ask for more, Zooms, and so just her willingness to work at this every step of the way was very impressive. So she was a joy to us. And we haven't had a new staff member this year that was working the story map competition, Sarah. And so Sarah was instrumental in, I think, staying up for the waking hours to, to help assist Maya too. And Vibrian, of course, you all know, and has been with us a long time. So he and I've been working the competition for about 5 or 6 years. So we're just thrilled about Maya's story map and her success in this year's competition.
So actually, that's a really good point that you bring up, that you've been working on this. This was I think the Louisiana's strongest year of participation.
Well, thank you. I mean, and I was thinking about that. I think there's several things at work here. A lot of the students, we started with them in middle school and they're in high school now. So they've done the competition every year. In fact, our high school winner for Louisiana, Catherine, was telling kids, I've made $500 winning the competition, since I was in middle school. I mean, that's a big statement, for somebody in high school. So that's really cool. And then the other thing, this was a particularly hard year, just coming out of COVID. We didn't realize, you don't realize all the impact that's going to have in a school situation after a year or two like that. And then our schools down in the Southeast Louisiana were hit by Hurricane Ida, which was another, devastating impact that they felt. But we had a school really, step up to the plate, and it's really amazing what the competition offers students. It's a way to stay engaged in school in something different, learn something different. They get to tell a story about where they're from, and it just eases the, stress and pressure they're feeling from the regular school schedule. So I think that's why, we had such good participation this year.
And Michael, how about in Tennessee? How was the participation this year?
It was actually down a little bit for us. We suffered the same thing a lot of other states did in terms of teacher burnout, teachers being exhausted, and people just kind of still being in survival mode. I'd like to think, though, that what we lacked in quantity, we made up for in quality. We've got a handful of teachers that are consistent every year. Their students bring their A game every year. Clay Burns, the students at Central Magnet School, are doing great work. Hannah is just doing exceptional work.
Yeah, that's really cool. Well, let's see if we can get the 4 of us together here, the 4 of you together with me. I'll be with you. Come on, Charlie. What did you guys, do you, the leads, want to say anything to the participants about their creations? Michael, do you want to start?
Oh, yeah. I just, let me just, kind of reiterate the fact that just how proud we are of Hannah, but also Maya and all the other young people that participate in this. If you think about this, if you're a middle school or a high school student, you're kind of jumping into the deep end in terms of using the same software and tools that professionals, who, have big titles in front of their names, or PhD or something like that after their names. And these are young people stepping right into this and doing exceptional work. I'm almost afraid to show my intro to GIS students at the college level Hannah's work because of what a good job she's done.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Fran, anything you want to throw in here?
Yeah, Michael, I want to ditto to what you're saying about Hannah's story map. I mean, I'm extremely impressed with your story map and that you got to the analysis part and included drive time analysis. I mean, that's really that's amazing for high school students. So, congratulations and keep up the good work and stick on the GIS trail. So, and then for Maya, your story map is not only beautiful, but it's such a relevant topic to something about Louisiana, but that had a national impact, just like you yourself just had by, jumping in this competition and winning it. So, kudos to you for all the work you did. And we're really looking to you to go back to school and serve as a peer mentor to your other students. And we will be right there with you and just look forward to coming, to Shreveport to do that with you and your principal and your teacher.
Yeah, for sure. I'll have a lot of fun bringing this into my next school for high school.
That's great. So we look forward to doing that with you. Congratulations. And we ought to note that Maya's in Eastern Europe right now at about 1:30 in the morning attending this Zoom. So we're thank you for attending in person and not just letting the video stand up for you. But it's been a pleasure to work with you.
Yeah, thank you.
Talk about going the extra mile. I want to ask Fran and Michael to chime in and see if you've got some recommendations for some of the state leaders that might be watching, or some of the people who might become, hint, 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 might become state leaders in some of the states that we didn't have.
I can start. For me, this contest would not be possible without a pretty significant team of volunteers that helped me out. I kind of feel like my role as the organizer keeps me pretty busy and I don't have the time to cover every little part of the contest. And the other thing is I feel I don't really want to help with the judging because I'm also the one that's coordinating with teachers and answering questions for students and things like that. So like I have a separate team that does the judging, and that way I don't have to worry about it. I just send them the URLs and the rubrics and they go through it and they handle that. I've got different folks that help me. Hannah mentioned the videos that we recorded as references for students and teachers. So I've got other folks that, I did the recording for those, but they did all the research and prepped all the material. We work closely with the Tennessee Geographic Alliance, who help us promote the event and recruit teachers and students that want to participate. So for me, it's a team effort, and there's no way I could do this by myself.
Cool.
Yeah.
Fran, anything that you can tell the leads?
Yeah, I mean, Charlie, I do want to say to you, I mean, y'all do a great job of organizing this, and your directions are very clear, and there's not a lot of things that you can question about that. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, we create a flyer just for Louisiana, but it absolutely points to, ESRI's website and all the information that you're releasing so that, teachers can interpret the rules for themselves and the students as well. So, thank you for all that you do to put this together, because it is quite a massive effort. And I've mentioned a couple of team members that we're working with. There's two others that were instrumental in this year. So there's a team of really about 5 of us in our nonprofit that work the competition. And then the judges too is an interesting area. We reach out, of course, to people that don't have anything to do with the competition at all, and they're professionals in the industry. And it's a great opportunity for them to really see, because they don't, when you tell them middle school and high school students are doing GIS, they basically don't believe you. Because and so this is a really good experience for them. So I think that's a unique, really, aspect of this competition that has a great amount of value to it.
Well, how about let's see if we can ask Hannah and Maya if you guys have any tips, pointers, advice for the students participating next year. And hopefully that includes both of you. So Hannah, do you want to start?
I think just the most important thing to do is just plan, plan, plan. Like as I said before, I created an outline so I knew how I could approach all of the elements of my story map in an organized manner. And I think creating a story map is it's a big volume of work, and I think it's important to create that plan where you know where you're going and you can really have targeted work to create a story.
Cool. And Maya?
Yeah, I definitely love what Hannah said about planning and research. I think that's really important as well. But I also think it's important to not be scared to do something wrong, because you can always go back and fix it later. Like, it's not permanent. So
Yeah, you can't break it.
Well, that's terrific. Okay, I want to jump back into this. I want to share my screen one more time, jump back in, and see if we can take a look at the creations again. And also to get people to see. Okay, we had winners here. Great, fabulous. We also had some wonderful creations that were just a hair less wonderful than these two winners that you're seeing here. We've got some wonderful creations. In fact, it was so close in high school end that we ended up for the first time ever with 2 honorable mentions from Maryland, Lead Exposure in Baltimore by Taylor Peterson, and from Nebraska, From Dirt to Soil by Chloe Hackbart and Kariana Murray. And you can come in and take a look at each of these by just walking your way through here and looking at each one in turn. Now, what you're seeing is it's always going to jump to the item details page because it's so hard to jump backwards from the story map to the item details page. We want to have people start here and move out and take a look at the actual story. In middle school as well, we had a really good, strong one in the honorable mention position, mapping to make a difference. What a concept, what a great concept. We love that. And so this is one from Rhode Island by Caden Baum, looking at the blood shortage crisis. So we had 2 really exceptional ones on medical situations. So, geez, that might be a problem for actually 3 really exceptional, covering all high school and all levels. And so this is an interesting thing for people to look at is, what should I be thinking about for my topic? What can I be exploring? So we've had environmental ones in the past. That's where it was such an unusual one to get this unexpected modernism of the South from Maya. So it's great to come in and explore these things. You don't need a TV subscription to any kind of a TV thing. All you got to do is come in here and take a look at all these great creations by students. All right, now what I want to do is to see if we can open it up to some commentary or questions from the audience. So go ahead and type into the chat questions that you have, and maybe if Laura has been looking at the chat and see if we've got any questions that have come up or comments that people have made. And everybody else, go into the chat, put in your comments, even if they're short, put in your questions, even if they're profound or simple.
Well, Charlie, so far, everyone's just been really absorbed from listening to and watching the presentation. So there haven't really been any questions. Everyone's very impressed, I think, with the work that we've seen tonight and with learning more about the competition and how that all comes together to result in a winning entry. I have a question
Ooh, yay.
for both of you in turn, but I'm just curious about moving forward. Now that you've had some experience building a story map and thinking about things in sort of a map centric way, how do you see this, or do you see this, these skills, this, technology maybe playing out in future schoolwork or in your career or anything like that? So I'll ask Maya first.
Yeah, so I think it would definitely be interesting to do something like, I'm not sure if this was really your question, but I think it would definitely be cool to do something geography based, such as creating story maps in my work in the future.
Cool. What about you, Hannah?
I think doing this work with ArcGIS has really piqued my interest in STEM, and I think it's really helped motivate me to pick a STEM major in college. College is less than a year away. So yeah, I think it's really helped influence my decision.
That's great. I've been hearing things recently in other meetings and venues about how, employers are looking for people with these kinds of skills, even in other disciplines. And so I certainly think that this experience will benefit you as you move forward in life. I'm proud of you both for the amazing work that you've done. Let's see, I see a question here from Mark for Hannah. He would like to ask about the challenges in doing this, participating from a homeschool situation.
That's kind of a difficult question. I've been homeschooled all my life. I would say the probably, well, for homeschool for me, it was almost kind of a benefit because my mom let me kind of roll this into my school. I treated it like school. From that point, it was a benefit. For mentors, I wasn't really lacking from that. My parents were both great mentors in helping me build my story map. Like I said before, I partnered up with a geo mentor from a local university who helped me with my map as well. So I can't think of any specific homeschool related challenges now.
Okay, well, one of the things I was, most interested in is given as far as on your submission being as far as on the organization account, did you get a sponsor as far as the organization account, or was an organization account set up for your homeschool?
Yeah, the organizational account was set for my homeschool. It was under my mom.
Okay, yeah, because I've been monitoring the Sacramento area homeschool group, and I'm thinking about maybe for next year trying to put that out and set up and field a team from the homeschoolers in the region.
Yeah, that's one of the things that is interesting about homeschools is during the pandemic, the number of homeschool students rose across the country. Homeschool locations rose. And so there are a lot of homeschool students out there. And actually, we got a different kind of a question from Christine Voigt. And this is maybe really part of a question for you, Maya. Was this part of a particular class? And how did you find out about the contest? And boy, just in the nick of time, it sounds like.
So yeah, I was looking online and I found the competition on it was some type of social media, I don't quite remember, but I thought it was interesting. I mean, just to be able to create a map and visualize whatever you like. So no, this wasn't part of a class. I just had a mentor from a local college as my teacher, so it worked out well.
That is interesting. One of the longtime participants in the competition has been a school in Minnesota where every year the Sauk Rapids race High School has participated for the last 4 years, I think. And they've had everybody, all roughly 300 students, creating their entries. And this year they came in with a much reduced number. And I thought, gee, what happened? And they had, instead of everybody doing solo projects, almost everybody picked to do it as a tandem. Did either of you run into a situation where you were saying, gosh, I wish I had a partner to do this, or I'm glad I don't have to challenge with my partner on how to do this? Who wants to start? Hannah?
I'll start. I think definitely having a partner would be a positive thing, just like to bounce ideas off of and to help split the work and just get different ideas, I think would be fruitful. So I think I would have liked having a partner.
Okay.
Yeah, so I like working with a partner, but I think I like more working by myself because I can manage my time wisely and know how long it would take me to do a certain thing. And I know what's done and what's not done yet. So it just makes it easier for myself.
It's a trade-off. And Hannah, is there anybody in your vicinity who might want to work with you?
Well, my younger brother actually is entering high school next year. And so he's done Storymap and he's expressed interest in doing it next year. So I think we're planning on partnering up with each other.
Wow. That'll be interesting to see how that works. Well, so Vibrian has a really interesting question here. Now that you guys have some experience with ArcGIS software, are there things that you guys think would be cool to map? And hey, you had to stay just stuck inside your own state for this thing. What would you love to map?
I think different environmental patterns and neurological patterns. I always like mapping those. I think those are neat. And I think also different health trends, like outside of rural healthcare, like other health trends, I think mapping those as well could be very impactful.
Gosh, that's hard to think about. Like the amount of things that you could map, it's just impossible to pick one. So I think I definitely have to choose like a couple, like Hannah said, I love a lot of her ideas.
And Maya, I want to remind you, I'm not going to say your topic because you might work on it next year, but your first topic, you actually came in with a different topic at first. And I want to just, challenge you to revisit that, and we'll start earlier, and how fascinating that could be.
Yeah. So for anyone who's wondering, that was, I think, oak trees. Yeah, I was trying to map trees in Louisiana because Louisiana trees are known for being old and they look really amazing, just beautiful. So that was one of my first ideas. Yeah.
And yes, she wanted to do that statewide, and we immediately we thought collecting GIS, coordinates or GPS coordinates for those. And that was a little over ambitious in a 2-week period. After the first session, we realized, yeah.
Well, there's one more question in here that is a really good one for both of the students here. This is from Charity Nix, who is up in North Dakota. And she says, I work with a lot of small schools in North Dakota. What do you guys think would be a good way to get students excited about participating in the event?
Good question.
So I know for me, ArcGIS was a really good way to blend my love for art and design, also with math and science. Usually those two things don't really mix. And so I think seeing those mix in ArcGIS really piqued my interest in it and really piqued my enjoyment.
Yeah. I think a lot of kids or students in general would be interested in doing something for this competition, just because when they hear that basically they can map anything they want, that just like would probably blow their minds that they could, anything in the world you could map.
Wow. This is great. And the offers of help are coming in the chat. And so you guys might take a look at that. And so I just want to say thank you both to our wonderful students, Hannah Osborne and Maya Trutschl. And let me do one last screen share here. And it was just so exciting to see some of the things that came out of this. And so, all right, move ahead here. And there we go. Questions we've done. The last little bit of our links, if you didn't get the links first time, esriearl.com/AGO School Comp or Fun with GIS 307. And so thank you, Maya and Hannah. And thank you also to our team leads from Louisiana, Fran Harvey, and from Tennessee, Michael Campanovo. It really is a great thing to have people who are willing as adults to spend all of this time and get nothing out of it but joy and a little bit of occasional frustration when things don't go right from ESRI. So thank you, presenters, speakers, students, leaders. Thanks, all of you. So we do have some announcements and some reminders that I want to go through here. And first is, holy cow, it looks like it's going to happen. We are inside of a month. The Education Summit is going to be happening in San Diego, July 9 through 12. That's Saturday through Tuesday. And if you are an educator attached to an ArcGIS school bundle, that means that there is a $0 registration to participate in the Education User Conference. And that includes the 2 days that are primarily the main user conference, Monday and Tuesday. So there is a bunch of information about this because there's a special way to go through the registration process. See the URL here, esriearl.com/educ 2022 school bundle reg. It's a great deal if you can participate in it. And yes, indeed, the main conference is going to be back live in San Diego. And there will indeed be some online component. On Monday, the plenary is going to be live streamed. And they're going to, I don't know if they're streaming some of the tech sessions or recording them and making them available. I don't know how that is working, but take a look at the site esri.com/UC, and as soon as the details are available, that's where you'll be able to find them. So we hope to see a number of people there and come up and say hi at the user conference. And we're looking forward to that. And those of you who are saying, great, I'm so excited about this competition, I want to get started now. Okay, can't get started now. The 2023 competition, states can start to apply in September. Take the summer off. Build up your contacts, build up the people who are interested, build up, get people to come in and take a look at these great presentations. Even the ones that you're seeing that are out of the first place, take a look at the other ones. We've made it really easy for you to go in and explore. Talk amongst your state partners and see who can help make this happen in your state. Who can help make sure that there are people participating in schools. Schools and clubs. We want to get more, we want to get all of those states in that nice, pretty blue on that map so that everybody has entries coming in from all of the states. And if you're finishing up the school year and getting ready to go out and relax, think about doing a little 1-minute video challenge. And that's all it takes is 60 seconds to record a video and maybe another 60 seconds to submit a survey entry. So we hope to get some more surveys and entries to that teacher video challenge. T3G is open for membership. And this is for people who are educators who want to help other educators engage with GIS. And so if you go to esriearl.com/T3G, you'll see a membership tab. And if you become a member, that means that you'll be put onto our listserv, which gets sort of a ebb and flow stream of information from ESRI. You'll get a dot on a map so that people can come in and say, oh, is there somebody in my state that I can talk with? And you're going to get also your entry in the database so that people can take a look at it and say, I'm looking for somebody who has this kind of expertise. I want to go through the list. Doesn't matter, we're just going to connect by email. How do I do that? This is one of the ways that we've tried to make sure that people get to learn from folks who have some experience. The listserv is for members only. It is a moderated one-way listserv, so you don't get to chat with each other, but you do get to chat with each other on the ESRI Community Zone. You get a dot on the map with your interests, experiences, and emails, and you get a login to the T3G org, which is a sandbox zone that you can use to learn to do the software. This is what we want people to do with it. And we've got some training logins that people check out for particular events that they're doing. So that's an opportunity for you by participating in T3G. And last, but certainly not least, we've got a collection of webinars. These are open to all, the live events and the recordings. We want everybody to be able to participate in this. And so with that, what's our next one? Well, we're not going to have one in July. It's our time to rest and be at the user conference. So join us there. And if you've never been to the user conference, it's a great thing to go to. Catch some of the user conference excitement by watching the live stream of the plenary. And then rest up, recharge the batteries, explore, use the summertime to learn. In August, we'll be back again with our user conference updates and summer software updates because things are happening for the user conference, before and during and after the user conference. So August 18th of 2022, we'll be back at the usual time, 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific time. And the information and registration will be in the usual spot. And until then, everybody, thank you for participating. And we'll see you next time.